Well, I want to thank you for welcoming us to Fusion and showing us around. It's been amazing to see what it is you're achieving here and what it is moving forward that you're trying to achieve. But in your words, I just want to hear what Fusion is and how everything came about, because there's some really beautiful but also very sad sort of reasons around why this has come to be, and I just really want to hear it from you, what that means and how this has all come to what you've created today.
Yeah, sure. So this place is really a community partnership, and the facility here, we're in Mount Martha. It's an ex-army barracks, and Fusion got hold of that in the late 70s, early 80s. So originally there was a group of local people volunteering, renting a space off their own means in Mornington Main Street, and it was a drop-in centre. So young people after school would go there, hang out, play pool, eat fruit toast, and get to chat to local people that were really invested in the well-being and care of our local kids. The Shire approached the volunteers at Fusion and said, hey, do you want to live here and maintain the property? And you can imagine a volunteer that's, studying at uni and life's tough, free housing, sweet.
Absolutely. And it's so big and spacious too.
Yeah, absolutely. They would look into doing some programs like ballet classes or kids club, and that was generating some funds as well.
Perfect.
And then something horrendous happened in 1985. In Melbourne, there were two 15-year-old boys experiencing homelessness, and they were sleeping in a dumpster bin.
I remember this was terrible.
And in the morning, the compactor truck came to empty that bin. The driver heard their screams, and he was only able to pull one of the boys to safety. Shocking. And these are these are kids. Little boys.
This shouldn't happen.
Horrendous. Well, a 15-year-old shouldn't be sleeping.
No.
Should be with a family, with people that love them. So it still shocks me now. And the team back then were really rocked. And they thought, we've got to do more. We're meeting people that have so many complex needs. We can do more. There's always more. So they approached the Shire and said, can we have some of these kids that we're meeting that have an unstable home experience or don't have one at all, live with us, and we'll provide a home for them, as well as learning the kinds of things that help somebody maintain housing. How to cook, how to budget, how to have a civil conversation with someone that you live with and deal with a conflict in a healthy way, all those kinds of things. Learn boundaries. And so the Shire was like, oh, that sounds great, but, we're going to knock down that building and sell it. So it'll be, you might have it for 12 months or 18 months, but that's going.
And that's scary because you're constantly then feeling quite unstable.
Constantly. I've been here for 17 years and I can remember when I started here, they were still, and it was like 2007, the team were anxious about that still.
Of course,
It was looming over
them. How much do we commit before we then have to take it away? And that's awful too.
Yeah, and knowing that there weren't any other options for these kids that we really care about. So that was obviously 40 years ago. And recently we have signed and negotiated a 35-year lease with the Shire, and it is an unprecedented lease. There's not another one like it.
That's a high five.
Yeah. There's not another one like it in the country with a Shire and an organisation. It is quite unique. It took so long to draft with lawyers and the Shire and negotiating terms. And some of the things that we needed to agree to was the upkeep of this property. So it's unlike another service that provides housing. They actually have an external group that comes in and deals with when the plumbing goes wrong, when the you need a lick of paint or you need different things. It's just there, that support. When the plumbing goes bad, I'm fortunate that our caseworker's husband is a plumber and I can call him.
So you're maintaining, fixing
everything,
extending whatever it is, and as I said, it's a huge, beautiful, big open space, but it is also quite old, and so I imagine
so much work.
There's a bit of stress over your head
Yes.
when we have storms like what we just had, and
The sweat.
you're holding your breath.
Yeah. In the bigger picture of it all is the community owns this place.
Yeah.
The community houses young people that sadly are in a situation through no fault of their own, and shouldn't have to bat for themselves. They should have the community caring for them, holding them up.
And so how does it come about that these beautiful kids come to you? How do they find out about Fusion? Is there other groups, or is there some sort of notification you get from other entities?
Yes.
Or
if people want to know how to connect with groups that are offering support in those areas, we have those networks. We are one of them. But there's always more than one. And what I love about working with our community is there are a range of excellent organisations doing a great job, and we are dedicated to working together as well. So Fusion, I think we do an excellent job, but we're actually not the white knights of the situation. We're working within a community of people that all are dedicated, and it depends on the individuals within those organisations.
Of course, and I think if you knew exactly what was going to happen, there'd probably be a little bit more like, we can do this, but you're really dealing with different emotions, different situations, so you're constantly evolving as to what you're providing, I would imagine.
Yes.
What would you say is probably the most prevalent reason for the youth being displaced? What would be probably maybe the top sort of 3 reasons that you're finding that this is the support that you're needing to provide?
Family violence, lack of adequate systematic support of people from disadvantage, and cost of housing. So we'll have young people move in who are guns, but they cannot get a job that will pay their rent because the cost of living is too high. And so someone that is working in a supermarket and studying, they should be able to get average rental. They should be able to. They're working really hard, but they can't. They're homeless. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. And it's not a situation where everybody can go and share with others. One, again, they may not be comfortable because of past traumas, or two, they can't find someone to share with. So it's not a matter of people just saying, well, go and house share or find a roommate. That's if it was that easy, there wouldn't be these situations. What would you say is probably the average time frame that people are staying with you, which is the beautiful rooms that I got to see upstairs, they're private spaces?
Yes. So we have different classifications, I guess, of within our housing. So we do have people housed here, which is on average around 3 to 4 months on average. And then we have a couple of houses. One's a safe house for young families, and another one's a longer term house, and that's around 2 years. And then we have supports for people who are either at risk of homelessness, where our casework support team are seeing them and helping them to maintain the situation that they're in, or they are in a situation where they have moved out from us. And we don't just want to say, oh, tick, they've got a house now, let's move on to the next person. If they want to, it's obviously by their choice. We're not going to hound them if they're sorting themselves out or out of an area. We maintain that support around them. So that's why we have our dinners where once a week different ones come back or invite their friends. Or we have outings. We're talking about going to Moonlit Sanctuary. That would be a good one because everyone wants to hold reptiles at the moment.
Well, that's great. I think it's, like you said, it's providing an immediate safe house, but also it's that we're not just here to just give you a minute of our time. We've got to put a roof over your head. You're really actually going to that extra mile to make this a family that possibly they've not had, and that support around it. So we were talking about before, and I know that it's often people try and do the right thing, and what they think might be the right thing in supporting various groups, but I think sometimes that support ends up being a bloody burden, and I'll use the beautiful op shops and the salvation bins where people are just using it as a dumping ground. What are the things that you, on a day-to-day or week-to-week, those real immediate things that you need help with, or whether it's product, service, help around the garden? What are those things that you need help with versus, I'm a plant lover, so I was looking at all your cactus, your cacti everywhere. I was like,
so need help with gardening.
God, you have to get my husband over here. You got that on camera, there you go. Sorry Matthew.
Under the bus.
But what are the things that are not helpful? And you don't want to be sorting through things, and we need a really clear understanding, I think, because I'm even myself thinking, what are all the things I could be doing? Because this is definitely something that's close to my heart, obviously from a situational point of view. But yeah, wanting to make sure it's the right help.
Yeah,
you need more people. Like I can tell, the weight, there's a huge weight over just a few people, and granted, not everybody can do that. But if people can't come on board themselves to help, what could they physically be doing?
Yeah, sure. So we do have monthly working bees, first Saturday of the month, with just a handful of hours where we do work around the property. Desperately short of people post-COVID. And sometimes most weeks it's hard, or months it's hard to get even 2 extra people to come and help. We also we're always using good quality linen, so towels, double doona covers, king single sheet sets, and
can that be second-hand, or it has to be new?
We use brand new ones. This is for the room. This is for young people to take, and I want like a good thread count.
Understand.
So I want someone that gets into that bed and
they feel warm and cozy.
Yeah, you think of someone that's body has not been treated with dignity.
Yeah.
We want them to feel that in the very bed that they lay in. It needs to be, good quality, soft, and so everything around them needs to tell them that they do matter, they are of value. Someone donated us some cheaper sheets recently. I put them in our op shop. I won't have it. It needs to be better quality. There is a list on our website. Am I telling the truth?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
There's not.
If you contact us, we also have a list of food items which young people are eating at the moment. So, different things like up and goes. Oh my word, we go through so many of them, because some folks haven't been eating properly ever. And you try and convince a 16-year-old that they should eat breakfast when they've decided they shouldn't. That is the fight of your life.
Or they've just there's just been no food to do it. So they've just gotten used to that.
They're used to it. So we're weaning people off KFC and onto nutritional food. So
no KFC, no vouchers for any of that stuff. So good wholesome food that maybe isn't necessarily perishable as quickly.
Yes.
Like it's things that you can keep maybe in the cupboard a bit more. And what about your fresh produce? Do you
fresh produce? Yes. Probably the thing that I can't seem to get donated that's fresh is meats. But it's always important to shoot an email through to our just generic email, because then we can tell you what we have bulk of, because we do access food bank and the other second bite.
Yeah, so there's no point dropping off some oranges if you've already got them. Staying in contact with
exactly
what it might be.
Yeah.
And personal care items, you said you've got a lot of companies that you could contact. So they're the sorts of things that you are able to get hold of relatively easily.
So the trend at the moment within the homelessness agency is to donate toiletries, and it's a fair enough assumption, but it's also the market's flooded with it. The intention's a good one, but wonderful intention,
but it's not where it's needed anymore.
Exactly. And if people do have a house and they're by themselves and they're thinking, you know what, I would be willing to rent a room out at a affordable cost, you can contact us, and if we have someone that we think would be suitable for your household,
Great.
we can work on that as well. We've had a lot of folks do that and have ended up having a wonderful person that becomes a long-time friend. And it's just maybe someone a bit younger than you maybe intended, or someone that you've just lowered the rent for it to be more affordable for them on their income because of the age they're at.
Yeah.
That is such we need more people to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I guess then, aside from say the food and new linen, what about like the clothing side of things? Is there assistance that's needed around that?
Yes. So if you clean out your wardrobe and you've been holding those clothes, you think, I don't wear this anymore, but it was too good to get rid of.
Yes, yeah.
We all have it.
You just did that.
I'm not ready to let go of that yet. I might lose that weight, or I might, Yeah, we all know.
We don't want stains and tears, and we want the best stuff that, like you said, for whatever reason, it's still almost new, but you're just not wearing it for any.
Yep. So when somebody knows they've got one of those special loads of clothes, you can take them to our shop Thrift on Progress Street. Is our big warehouse. They can handle more of a drop of donations. And then we have Fusion Old School Op Shop in Tantai next to Homeground Cafe, which is also a social enterprise supporting our young people. And then we have Thrift in Dramana, which is a pop-up shop on Pierce Street next to the fish and chip shop and across from the Salvo's Op Shop.
Okay.
But if anyone is living in the Mount Martha estate near us, feel free, and you know that your bags are good, you could just drop them here and we'll let the young people go through it before I drop it off at the house. But I don't want everyone in the world doing that.
No, you don't want to, you're not sorting through things.
Yeah,
we're not a sort, and no, that's totally understandable.
Yes.
Yeah. And so also in relation to the youths, with support or programs, do you get a lot of outside support from other entities that come in and maybe do things around fitness, or I don't know, makeup, putting on makeup, or self-esteem, or and if you don't, is that something that you've been looking for, or is there particular people or programs that you would love to come in and offer an hour here and there to do
we'd
things?
love that. So one of our caseworkers, Heather, runs our life skills program, and she's often got external groups to come in and do programs, and that's fantastic. We love that sort of thing. And it often depends on the group that we have, but there's always we're talking about a cohort of folks that haven't had the kind of upbringing and opportunities and experiences to learn the skills. So she's even taken a group to a barber academy, and where everyone got to learn and talk about hair and grooming and things like that. So that we are always looking for those sorts of
or
things.
even like cooking, like basic, like some breakfast ideas, or someone that maybe be able to come in and help learn some, what was that, 5 ingredients or something, like something that's really simple, but teaching from that basic life skills, I suppose, make it a little bit fun as well.
Yes.
And with the maintenance of this beautiful big property, and I know you're talking about the fact that you're actually also going to be building some units out the back, which I think is amazing, but I imagine that's going to take some time and a lot of money to do. How do you raise your money for those bigger projects, and what are the manpower resources that you would need, even just a day-to-day, like you said, gardening, like what are the manpower resources? So if there is someone that we know of that's like about an hour free, or what is it there that would be a huge help?
Yes, sure. So the upkeep of the property, how long is a piece of string? So the working bees are fantastic.
Anyone with any
but
kind
if people have any sort of handy person abilities, that's great. Even I just like making homes nice. So we have a lady that comes in once a fortnight and does that, and it's so nice. Like she potters around. She potters around, swipes some corner, and when
Like a little a girl Friday, or what do they have in the hospitals? What are they called?
Yeah.
Pink lady. Trolley dolly? Pink lady?
Pink lady.
Yeah. You need a pink lady.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, when you don't want to do your own cleaning, but you go somewhere else and you're quite happy to make that nice.
It's totally different. It's a thing.
It's so different.
Yeah.
So we desperately need that. We also, so we're building units for young women, or I say young families, on site for housing, and we will have a campaign raising money for that very soon. We're just waiting for one more document to come through with some different figures on it. And so if anyone's like attached to a corporate entity that could do a sponsor, a unit, that kind of things, we're all tax deductible, so that's an opportunity. But we have a garden party coming up on the
16th of March.
16th of March here on site.
Yeah.
People can come along, it's catered, there'll be tours of the building, the young people will help with the, making it look cute and serving the food, and we'll have live music, lawn games, and there'll be things like silent auction, and the whole thing's a fundraiser. Awesome. And so that is a great thing to get involved, bring family along to, and have a nice afternoon. But that goes to making this place operate. Yeah. And then there's a pretty swish gala dinner in October as well, which you'll be hearing more about in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So there's a lot of moving parts to just get everything working on a day-to-day basis, let alone the fact that you're constantly trying to expand, unfortunately, a service that's needed. So I think it's amazing what you're all doing. I can see and I can feel that it's a monumental task. And I hope, whilst it's small, Adorn, by raising some money through the sale of our t-shirts, might be one step to assisting you guys. And I'm definitely going to walk away from this just thinking about what other ways that we could possibly help, or at least now know what sort of things you need, so that we're constantly got the ears open for those opportunities, whether it's working bees, people like you said, pink ladies, fundraisers and programs. I think it's just amazing stuff that you guys are doing, and I commend you for it. It's just a shame that it's needed, but having met some of the people here, you can tell you're very appreciated, and I don't know what our poor youths and the families would be doing if it wasn't for the likes of Fusion and the other entities that are around doing the very, very best. So thank you.
Thanks, really appreciate it. And it's lovely to have Adorn involved.
Yeah. It's my pleasure, my absolute pleasure. It's a small thing, but I think it's anything that I've been looking for a long time to find something that I resonate with as well to support, because like you said, you'll often get people being a part of something, and it's not always any support's great, but it's not always for the most genuine reasons. And for me, supporting some of these bigger entities, they just don't need the help. I've always been looking for that smaller, not small so much, but obviously the people that need it more, and maybe aren't getting that assistance through the government and things like that, and do actually rely on other hardworking Australians to assist them in what they're achieving. So it's been great that Anne mentioned and obviously has discussed you guys, and I've been able to come out, because once I heard the story, it really obviously through what I've experienced as a teenager myself, really resonates. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we can constantly, not just beyond the t-shirts, how we can look at assisting you moving forward as well.